when I first quit fashion and started going into sustainability, my dad was the one that was like, why are you leaving your job in fashion? You always wanted to work in fashion. That was a secure job. And now what is this green stuff you're doing? Like, how are you going to make money doing this? And blah, 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 blah. And like for years it was like this. And then he started coming to my events. And then he got to the point where he'd walk around being like, oh, that's my daughter. I'm Steph's dad. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, hello, and welcome to this episode of Clean Your Toilet podcast. My name is Steph Dickson. I am the founder of The Cosmic Circle, a series of events where we raise consciousness. I'm also a conscious leadership speaker, TEDx speaker, and an exited founder. And I'm very excited for this conversation with a guest that I just met 5 minutes ago.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Yes, very fresh,
Ben,
very fresh. Yes, Ben. Yes, nice to meet you. I'm a full-time content creator. I famously go by the name The Smiling Afro, which is my nickname and also the name of my content pages. And I also do hosting and acting on the side. And I've been in the media industry for half my life, 17 years. Yes, yes. And wait, so you're saying something about Cosmic
Circle.
And yeah, what is that? Sounds so interesting.
Oh, thank you. So yes, the Cosmic Circle is a series of events that I launched all around raising consciousness. So for a decade, I ran an event called the Conscious Festival. And I learned a very long time ago that for us to be able to change the world, we have to change inside first. Very much an inside out journey. But people were not ready for that message in 2015. They weren't even ready to talk about sustainability, which is what my first company was about. It was called Green is New Black. And so I now feel like we're in a very exciting time that people are willing to talk about these things and want to raise their consciousness and do the inner work. And perfect timing to have this conversation all about shadows and relationship with shadows. So I think, it's a sign of the times that there's a whole season of this podcast about diving into shadows. And I'm very excited that we're able to have these kind of conversations now.
Yeah, nice. And like, when you say like, to raise consciousness or to raise one's conscience, like what does that look like in like a festival in the concert? I think I've read about it before or I've seen it somewhere.
Well,
right?
yeah, we had about 5,000 people join every year. We had 40,000 over like the decade that I ran.
And in Singapore?
In Singapore, Hong Kong, Paris. We did stuff in New York and London as well.
Right. Nice.
So for that event, as I said, people weren't really ready to learn about sustainability. So I kind of lured them in with a cool event, live music, good food, got them there, got them to bring their friends. And then all of a sudden they'd be there and be like, oh, wait, all of these brands are conscious or, they're all ethical or they're vegan or there's like all this healthy food. And, we can go to these talks. And in the talks, our first talk was always about the mind. So we talked a lot about mental health. We talked about the latest neuroscience research about how we can, really use our mind to basically find joy and happiness in our lives. So that was always a part of it, but most people thought of it as a sustainability festival. But if you really picked it apart, actually there was a lot of stuff there about consciousness. And now that I've exited the company, I sold it and exited it. Now I'm really going deep into all of this work because I've been doing it my whole life since I was 19. I've been manifesting, visualizing, doing all of these different things. And now, as I said, I just think it's an exciting time because people are ready to actually explore these different things. So yeah, I do a series of manifestation workshops with visualization experiences, and we do higher self dinners, and then we've got like a natural highs event coming up and everything. So all of this kind of stuff, very much about making these little transformative experiences something that we can do on a daily basis. But what about you? I mean, are you into mindfulness, personal development?
Yes, I guess. I mean, I have a religious background, so from young, I was really trained on like reflection and meditation, and which I really appreciate because I was comfortable with like reaching into myself, right, and asking myself questions I need to ask myself.
What kind of questions did you go back to? I mean, back then.
Who am I, or why did I react that way, or why do I do things this way, or is it because of my upbringings and my parents, or what do I want to do better? Or, what do I want to become,
But that's so interesting. Sorry. So I want to just explore that a bit more. So this was through religion. Which religion? And
I'm Catholic, yeah.
Catholic. And how was that delivered to you? Like, how did you come up?
Went to Sunday school. And then of course, not everyone will come out from it like agreeing to reflect or whatever. But I think I was very encouraged by that because I mean, coming from Asian household, we're not particularly very great like with feelings, right? Growing up, it's not about feelings, it's about just doing doing a
Put it
living.
down.
Yeah, doing what feelings? No, our feelings for the week. So
Thank goodness times are changing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so I guess when I was in church, it kind of helped. There was a space for me to really pull into my questions, like about, because I do feel, I'm human, right?
Yeah.
I do feel all the time, but there was a space to question and to understand my feelings, and I'm glad for that. And of course, on top of that, I will still go for retreats in church, where we really dive deep into more personal feelings and all. And so that helped me a lot in life. Like growing up now, like every meditating and reflecting, right? And being in touch with my emotions.
And so how old were you when you did the who am I question?
Wow, 14, 15.
And what did you discover at that age?
Oh, honestly, wow. Now looking back. So it was I forgot the famous book, The Power of...
The Power of Now?
No, not Power. No, I forgot the book name. It's a very famous book, The Power of Choice or something.
Okay.
Or choices or something like that. Yeah, it's a very popular book that apparently everyone was sharing around about discovering oneself and discovering one's choices and understanding who and choosing who I want to be. Right. So I guess at a very young age, I thought that okay, if I read this and I decide now this is who I am. But later then I realized that I'll go through many stages in my life so university and then military and then career and like a job, first time in the job market, and that will change again all my perspectives. But having that foundation of like having that question very early on, I think helped me a lot. And also being open to realizing that I can change my direction in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, which really helps, especially,
Yeah, I think that's very interesting to be exposed to that level of thought process at such a young age of 14. So do you think that it helped you to navigate your teenage years better? Or was there, because I think, everyone suffers as a teenager in some way or form.
Yeah.
We all have our shadows
Yes.
and the difficulties that we have to go through, puberty, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But do you think that set you up like in a better space for that? Or did you still have a really hard time in high school?
Sometimes I do imagine, what if I didn't have that background of like being able to be in touch with my emotions or like being able to question the important life questions at a very young age? How would I have turned out? How would I have navigated life? I always wonder. But I feel that definitely because of what I've experienced, it's helped a lot. Like shaped in a more positive sense, like the way I handle adversity during life, right? Like problems with relationships or like just general life, going through life challenges, right? Yeah, I think I'm grateful I got to experience it when I was very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm grateful that it has become like a shadow that follows me or has followed me since a very young age to in a way guide some of my decisions or the way I view life, right? Like with a bit more purpose. I feel it's more about the purpose of like understanding, okay, I'm here for this, and whatever I choose will help guide me to be a better person or like towards my goals and dreams. Yeah, which, I'm actually very glad for that shadow.
Yeah.
But how about you? Like when do you, because it sounds, what I'm hearing is that you also did find like your purpose or like what you want to do quite early on.
I thought I had.
Right.
This is the interesting thing. So at 23 or 4, I was working in fashion and I loved working in fashion at the time. I had a crazy psychotic boss. Like I'm really talking like through tables, through chairs, through like a phone into a highway one time.
Is there a stereotype of fashion
smash
industry?
laptops.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope that it's evolved. I really would. I'm not sure. But between having a psychotic boss and then I actually learned that fashion was one of the most polluting and socially corrupt industries. And I felt really blindsided. So I had a huge crisis of identity, decided I wanted to be part of the solution instead of the problem. And that's when I started Green is New Black and the Conscious Festival. And at that time, it felt very mission-led, purpose-led. But fast forward, what ended up happening is I had an insane amount of anxiety. I created an absolute prison and pressure cooker on myself. I was 25, 6 when I started the company. And I think I just didn't have the emotional maturity to be able to handle the pressure of being an entrepreneur and being a social environmental entrepreneur when no one cared about the planet back then. So everything was an uphill battle. And as much as I was very passionate about what I was doing and I loved doing events and bringing people together, I was really like struggling on the inside. And this is why I focused so much on mental health, because I was struggling so much. So that's why I integrated it into almost everything that I did in some way or shape or form. And after every big festival, I would burn out. And now that I've done so much inner work and got through so many of my shadows, I realized that my anxiety, my burnout, these were big red flags that I was completely misaligned, actually. Right. And that even though I thought I was doing something that I really loved, the situation that I'd set up for myself was very prison-like, toxic business partnerships, like all of these things. And so now, as an evolved adult, I guess, I kind of grew up when I ran this company, and being able to exit it and have the space, I now realize that, wow, I was really misaligned and I wasn't doing things from the right energy. And I think that's why things were so hard. But in the last couple of years, I've really focused on joy and prioritizing alignment, following what lights me up. And now I feel like I'm in a completely different space. And now I can say that I'm genuinely following my passion and doing events that actually fully light me up.
Nice.
And that excite me, and things just flow so much better.
Pause for a flash break. Bond television.
Before we get back into the episode, we love to talk about cleaning your toilet.
Yep.
Your metaphorical toilet, right? And clean your toilet is all about all that inner work. And we recognize the intentionality and consciousness that Moom brings to the table. And that's why we wanted to present something from them.
Correct.
Right? Self-care is often put on the back burner.
Yeah.
In most of our lives, right? And the inner work is about bringing yourself to the forefront. And what Moom is doing is also bringing that self-care to the forefront by making it easy for modern women to take care of themselves through the products that they have, right? So today we are already talking about the other toilet that we've been avoiding.
Correct.
The physical one.
Physical toilet.
Yes.
So just to add on, Moom's products are not just for women. They also have some products for men. And today's product happens to be for everybody.
Yes,
right?
and that's why we have actually here as well, because it is a product that both of us can experience and have used to us.
So taking care of your physical health is important, right? Your actual kind of digestive system, your gut system, it's all connected to your immune system as well. And can you imagine what life would be like if, let's say, you're trying to journal or you're trying to reflect and then your tummy is aching all the time? Right? So if you don't take care of your physical body, it will have an effect on your general well-being, your ability to do things. Yeah, and honestly, when we got to know Moom and their brand, it really aligns with the clean your toilet philosophy. It's really about looking at the parts of yourself that are not necessarily easy to look at, that are hard to look at, and we don't always like to talk about like our gut and everything. So this product here will help us clean our gut and take care of our insides.
So let's get to it. Let's demo how this whole starter kit works.
Yes. So I have with me the mango flavor. It's non-caffeinated.
Yes, and I'm having the non-caffeinated green apple. Right, it's called Super Greens. Daily greens, fiber, and digestive enzyme blend. Wow, sounds quite
Sciencey.
power-packed sachet. Ooh. Okay, how does it smell?
Oh, here we go.
That's not the I blend celery, broccoli, or spinach kind of sadness. It's actually smelling quite fresh.
Ooh, I can smell the mango. Okay, Pink, I'm gonna go, okay?
Okay.
So it comes with a little whisk. This should be quite exciting. Oh!
This is like off with the usual spoon stirrer.
Yeah, correct.
Let's make it even faster for the
make it more fun. You get your own little Moom branded whisk. Oh!
I feel like I'm in my baking element now.
Okay, definitely looks healthy. I see the greens inside.
I can smell the green apple just sitting here.
Yeah, and I can smell the mango too. Okay, so shall we?
Yes.
Cheers!
Cheers!
Ooh. I can taste the mango.
It tastes very nutritious. I can feel like different layers of ingredients inside. What's going to happen to us after this?
I don't know. I can see the veggies inside. Wow, that's quite tasty. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
So just
Amazing.
to share, I don't normally try health supplements. I always assume that it will taste very like a blended veggie, but this did not give that vibe at all.
Yeah, this is our way of stepping out of our comfort zone to try something different
Correct.
and see how that fares for us.
Yeah. Thank you, Moom, for letting us try this. So the giveaway from Moom will actually be this whole
This
set.
starter kit, it comes with this whisk
Yep.
as well as 10 packets of
The
real
sachets.
goodness.
Correct. So 5 green apple and 5 mango.
Yeah, take it on the go, you know, when you're seated down in your office, in your desk,
Right.
and like you just need a perk me up
Yes.
that will make you feel good about yourself as you clear the gunk from inside out. Then Super Green Starter Kit is the one to go with.
Yeah. So how to get this is that for all of our listeners and viewers out there, please comment on our YouTube videos as well as our Instagram posts. Each comment gives you one opportunity to be picked from the giveaway.
The more comments you make across the different episodes we have, the stronger your chances are. Right? So stop procrastinating today. Unlike how you procrastinate with your gut health, I will say, move forward with this and let yourself start the year strong. Of which, by that time, we'll pick the winners and get your shipping details so that you can get that set before CMY.
Correct. So on top of the giveaway, we just want to let you know that Moom also has a personalized quiz that helps you determine what kind of supplements you need. So you can scan the QR code on the screen right now, or you can follow the link in our bio, and that will lead you to a very simple quiz that will give you a sense of what your concerns are, what things you're currently facing in your life, and then Moom will actually make some recommendations about what products you can try that will help, get you improving in those areas.
But it's going to ask you questions that genuinely gives you the care that your body needs. And actually in that process also help you discover your body a bit more.
And because we love you, we also have an additional thing for you. We got a discount.
Yes. So we have a 15% discount off a one-time purchase. You just need to indicate CYT MOOM, MOOM 15 for 15% off that one-time purchase. I think that will make it very nice for your coming to the new year, something that you want to do for yourself as a way of moving forward in your own self-care journey.
Whether you're new to Moom or you're an existing customer, feel free to take advantage of this code and, continue or kickstart your health journey today. Now back to the rest of the episode.
And I really learned just this year deeply that the energy behind everything is everything.
Oh, I believe in energy too. Strong believer of energy.
Yeah. And so for you, the belief in energy, does that come from what exactly? Like, where did that develop in you? Is it from these questions? Is it more from like the religious side of things? I would love to hear your take on it.
Right, great. Yeah, I think so. When I was young, I really loved like theater and acting. So I think because of that, and also coupled with the fact that I love storytelling, so I'm always thinking about stories. I'm always reading or looking for stories and human stories and people's experiences, and I observe people a lot. It's just an auto thing I do, right? I observe a lot of people, my friends, and why they do certain things or the way they react, right? And I think because of that, I also think I always notice energy from people, like negative or positive, or what energy are they emitting, right? So, but at a young age, I didn't call it energy. I don't know. It was just there was no word to it. It was just
Like a vibe.
Yeah, it's a
Are
vibe.
they like, what's the vibe?
Yeah, it's like I don't feel right. You do feel this person. Yeah. So, yeah. But then I think then through the years, and then now I also use energy or people's auras, right? And I'm like, yeah. So that's where it came from. It's more like I think just being this observant self, because I just want to learn about others. And that's why now I also strongly believe if we don't have the correct energy together, we're probably not gonna bloom in whatever we do together. Be it just a friendship, relationship, or even business or whatever. And yeah, if it doesn't feel right in a room, I usually like, okay, guys, we need to think again. Are we gonna really venture into something? And time is precious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's when fostering that sense of intuition as well and learning, I guess, even the signals your body gives you about the energy or about how you feel with someone. Like you have to learn to listen to that. I think I squashed it a lot in the early days because I was like, no, my mind knows better than whatever this feeling is. But then you learn the hard way and you're like, no, I should have listened.
Yeah, and how would you say in terms of now knowing what you know, right? Because you've gone through a lot and I mean, you've been in touch with yourself a lot, like in terms of emotions and energy and like things that you were squashing. Like, how about relationships wise? Like in your personal life? Like, how has that affected positively, negatively, maybe? Or like,
Well, I always say to my husband, so we've been together for 12 years now.
Wow, nice.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We have a 2-year-old. I especially in those really early days of my company, I was like, why are you with me? Like, I'm like an absolute nightmare. I'm like a complete roller coaster. And I'm either like high up in the clouds or I'm down in the depth of despair. And I was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And he was so sweet. He was like, he's like, you're like a roller coaster, but I'm like this. And you make me feel more alive. And you kind of challenge me in both ways. And I think I ground you. And it was so true. I was very lucky that I found someone that really felt like they needed the excitement that apparently I brought to the relationship. So there's that. I just felt like I got very lucky. And, now when you're 12 years in with someone, it's like, wow, you're in it for life, I mean, you know each other in such depth. And then there's all the new challenges of like, married couple at first. And then now as parents and now we're in the roommate stage of parents, which is a whole, it's just constantly another level to like navigate. Yes. But I think that's the beautiful thing about life and choosing to actually build and spend your life with someone is you really get to see all these different chapters with them and of them. And also you just continually choose to show up and love this new version of them. Because if you expect, like I'm an entirely different person to who he met 12 years ago. I think he's changed, of course, but not to the level of extremity that I have. And so, I think you have to, I think that's a really fascinating side. And there's always different kinds of shadows that come up in that. And new ones that are created at new points in your life. And I think it's just a really beautiful yet fascinating and tortured journey of life.
Wow.
And what about you? Are you in a relationship? And
not a moment. I'm still looking and dating around. But that what you mentioned about asking your husband 12 years ago, like, or was it 10 years ago, like during the roller coaster?
Like 3 or 4 years in. I was like,
okay, cool.
I can't do the math right now.
Like, but basically dating already for a period of time. Yeah. And then it makes I'm thinking about like that, like when you ask your partner, like, why are you still with me after seeing this?
Yeah.
And I think, but that's why, isn't that what a relationship should be about, right? It's like good times and the bad times, right?
Yeah.
And like, and what makes life exciting is maybe how your husband sees it, is that it's not always just like this. Sometimes there'll be, there's going to be a challenge in life personally, and then you're going through a bad time or you're going through a stressful time and you're going to react accordingly. That may seem to scare people away, but as long as we all know that it's not permanent, right? It's a period of time and then we just need a support and then we'll go through this and then I'll be back and then we'll be stronger. And
that's the thing. The impermanence of life is only one of the only permanent things.
Yeah, which ironically, I know a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, they have a perfect relationship, but we still broke up because it's like, why? Because we're going nowhere. It was just like this. There was no up, down, left, right. It was just this. And so you can never win, right? No problems, issue. Got problem, maybe you should ask. But so,
okay, for you and like shadows in relationship, like what has kind of come up for you, I guess, in the last couple of years in maybe some relationships that have...
Right. I think... I see, I guess for me, shadows could be also the burden, past burden or trauma, right, that I carry or what I've experienced. Like, and it may be good or bad, right? But it's like basically the past that is, and the shadow is just, will always be me, it will follow me around. It's just a silhouette of me that you can't really see clearly, but it's there, right, following me. And I've always wondered how much of my shadow do I put onto others or affects others, right? Especially in a relationship. Like, because my shadow has definitely crafted me to who I am today, right? So a combination of all my experiences. So, so far, I would like to say it's more positive than negative in terms of like how I've dealt with my experiences growing up, be it good or bad, and with past relationships, whether we had a good or bad relationship, understanding more about human reactions, and meditating and reflecting, and it's okay. I want to be a better person for someone else, and to others lah. So
What about being a better person just for yourself? Why is it about someone else?
It's a very good one. I think I'm very good. I've been very good to myself recently.
That's good. What a recently? Okay. Better late than never.
I never used to care about health, to be honest, for first 30 years of my life, because I was blessed enough to grow up like skinny and tall, and I'm like, oh, whatever I ate didn't seem to go anywhere but disappear. So I was like, oh, okay, I never have to worry. I just eat anything I want. But it eventually hit a point where I'm like, okay, certain things I feel it stay with me. Even though I don't see it, I can feel it like, this maybe I shouldn't be eating so much of like sugar or whatever. So I would say I actually did more self-care only maybe 4 years ago.
I feel like it seems to happen in the 30s. Yeah. I feel like in the 20s, we're just like, we're invincible. Life's amazing. Nothing happens. And then all of a sudden you hit 30 and you're like, oh,
you know what? I actually think about myself now. So I've actually been more mindful eating. Even when I enjoy or go and party, it's mindful partying. Like, no, I'm going to make sure I be the best of this. Because I work very hard in a week, I need to make sure I enjoy myself. Yeah, so that's looking after myself. I mean, to answer the question, I've only started like doing better for myself recently, and I feel that also helps me do better for someone else, right?
Exactly.
Because I'm looking after myself, and therefore also is a better version for future partner.
Yeah, but I think also when you look after yourself, then you actually have more to give. Because what I found, and this is also something I only learned in the last couple of years, when you have so much, like if you have really intense relationships with people, or you're depressed or you're anxious or whatever, it actually takes up so much of your mental capacity. And you end up just spending so much time ruminating in it, being stuck in those emotions, or like if it's a relationship, like it just takes up so much of your thinking space. And when you do the inner work as well, then I think that going back to the energy piece, you also then attract different kind of energy around you. When you are in a better space, then you seem to attract better people, better energy around you. You have better boundaries, but also it means that you actually have more capacity to give. And I think that's why, for me, it's really fascinating from like a sustainability element, because it's like, okay, when we do the inner work, we show up, we're more empathetic, we have better emotional intelligence, we are better leaders. And when we're better leaders, we empower our team with the same skills. And then when we're doing that, we have more to give. We get more creative. We can come up with better solutions, and we give more to the planet. We make better decisions. We actually understand that we are nature and that we need to protect this beautiful only home that we have. So I really do see how it like very much all connects like that through the energetic side. That's my ramble.
Oh, and I just want to mention, so I now remember the book that I was saying I read because of what you said. So the book was called Purpose-Driven Life. And because just now you said something quite a while back ago about purpose, I'm like, I got a book name. Wait, I'll hold it. I'll let it know later.
So I have two questions. First is like, that's a crazy book for a 14-year-old to read.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Purpose of Life. Sorry, what was the title again?
Purpose-Driven Life.
Purpose-Driven Life.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any 14-year-olds that are reading a book like that.
Right.
So do you think it's allowed you to find your purpose earlier with like business, with like everything that you've been doing?
Yeah.
Like, let's talk a bit about that.
I think the book helped me question purpose earlier and guide me. I think eventually, if I didn't read the book, eventually it will hit me soon enough in my teenage years where I start realizing about the universe and like, why am I here? I'm so small. Does it matter? There's like a whole solar system, there's a whole universe out there. Why Earth? Why does it matter? Yeah. So I did go through that around the same time reading the book. So I think it helped to ground me a bit, to not lose myself in this life has no purpose and then just go crazy, right? So, and also on top of like, religion helping me out a bit to like stabilize. And so, I think because of that, at a very young age, I started having the question. I wouldn't say I managed to decide who I want to be, but the questions were there for a very long time, like years, until before I started my business. And I only started my business this is 14 years after the first reading the book. But it was a whole process of going through my life. I in the end decided to study film because I wanted to do And I wanted to tell stories, but I found out that, hey, you can do it through filmmaking. So sure, so I studied film. So that's like one of the purpose. Okay, maybe my purpose in life is to share stories and entertain, and I can do it in the film industry. And on top of like deciding who I want to be as a person, like, okay, what's my personality, blah, blah. And then leading into even before I started my business, right? The question came again, like, is this my purpose? Was I meant to start my own thing? Because my whole time I was thinking I was going to work for somebody and just grow my ranks there, still work for somebody, but be promoted for somebody else's company. And now suddenly I'm like, you know what? No, I'm just going to do my own, right? I'm going to figure this out at 27 and start my own business. And maybe that's my purpose. And somehow subconsciously it will go back to that book, right? I first read about like finding the purpose and, embracing it. So yeah, that somehow led me to that.
So fast forward a few years,
yes.
do you feel like you're deeply living your purpose right now?
Indeed. Yes, it's quite insane sometimes when I sit down and think about it, like, gosh, I'm doing something purposeful that I'm agreeable to and happy about. No looking back, no regrets. And yeah, and like, well, at least from a business owner's perspective, right? I think that part, having a purpose-driven perspective definitely keeps me going as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. And and as a fellow entrepreneur, like, how do you feel? What were the challenges? Because I believe we can definitely relate, right? You starting up. And because you mentioned that 26, 27, when you started your business, and there was like, the stress and everything. But how do you pull through? Yes, maybe that's my question. How do you pull out of that and still continue for many years before exiting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think to your point, I think what's interesting is when you do feel very aligned with your purpose and with the work that you're doing, it energizes you in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think there's just like a peace and a calm that's kind of present, I think. I don't know. At least that's how I feel now. Before, I mean, it was really tumultuous, I think. In the beginning, it was definitely me creating these, a pressure cooker for myself. And as I said, the anxiety, the depression, everything. And the way I got out of it was realizing that there was no one coming to save me. And as much as so my mother is a holistic energy healer. She's a very powerful, incredible woman. And I grew up with a lot of this stuff. So of course I rejected it very hard in my teens because I needed proof. I wanted to understand it cognitively. Like I didn't understand this energy stuff. Then in my early 20s, a bunch of really weird stuff happened to me. And then like she fixed a bunch of things that like no one could fix. And so of course I like got so deep into it. That's why I love the energy work and all that side of things. But in that challenging time, I just felt like I had created a lot of it myself, a lot of the issues. And she'd always said to me, no one can change you except you. And I just felt like I was in such victim mode that I was like, what are you on about? I didn't create this. This is happening to me. Like I was just so frustrated with life and angry, with so much anger. And I was like, I did not create this. Like I'm a victim here. And I just was stuck in that for a really long time. And then I realized that, no one's coming to save me. I have to do this myself. And so I felt like I was at the very end of a very dark tunnel and I had to like build myself out like brick by brick by brick by brick. And it's a stacking process. And sometimes you fall back and then you keep going. And so for me, I found the tools that helped me and that worked. And I did a lot of deep work with a lot of different kinds of coaches. I did cognitive behavioral therapy, which didn't really work for me. But then I found somatic healing and breath work, which was like that really quantum leaped like me out of my darkness. I did that like 3 rounds, 3 different times in my life. And it really, like I actually attribute part of selling my company to doing breath work and therapy, somatic therapy, because she helped me believe that I could actually sell. Because selling a sustainability media and events company post-COVID, not the easiest thing in the world. But she helped me believe that I could actually do it and helped me to visualize the energy of the buyer which was very incredible. And so I deeply believe in the power of this type of work. So that then really helped me. And then, yes, like meditation. But now the last couple of years, it's been very much about the power of my thoughts and my words. And so realizing that our thoughts and our words create our reality, our perceptions create our reality, and what we focus on grows. All these sayings, all the Tony Robbins sayings, like sometimes you can roll your eyes at them in the beginning, but then the more you do the work, you're like, damn, he's right. Where the energy goes, like where you focus, energy flows. Like it's so true. And I think it was a lot of rewiring. And I think a lot of the societal things we have in our daily life is against that. Social media, everything is trying to make you feel small, trying to make you feel not good enough and blah, blah, blah. And it really takes a lot of strength and commitment and a practice to actually stay on the joyful side or the peaceful side, and to rewire that constantly. So yeah, that's a little bit of the journey that I've been on. But what about you? Like in your entrepreneurial journey, what have been some of the things that, you've had to like overcome, or some of the adversity you've had to face?
I think it's more or less, the big challenges I have as a content creator, starting out 7 years ago, was just consistency. Which when I started, I told myself, if I'm unable to be consistent, I shouldn't be doing this. So, but I felt it was easier at the beginning because I only posted once a week. Back in the day, it was easy, once a week, and every next week I'm working on one video, and then now I'm posting multiple times a week because it's a different time of the world, and I got to keep up with the algorithm, I keep up with the channel. So the challenge is just constantly, but also the challenge of like, hey, knowing when to take a break. So that's my constant challenge. But what I like what you said about what your mom said, right? I think we most of us will go through that once in our life. Like, the only person who can change yourself is you. And then you're like, stop. It's like, no. I can imagine when I was younger, it's like when things happen to me, I'm like, no, it's someone else's fault. It's some otherworldly force for it's never me. I can't choose my emotions, but yeah, I guess I can't remember when it happened where I decided that, hey, no, I'm in control of my emotions. Like I can choose to be upset or get angry or something. And I remember an elder, I forgot who, but maybe a relative was saying the same thing to me, right? Said only you can be upset. Only you can decide to be upset. Only you can. No one else has made you upset. You cannot say that person made you upset. It's not you choose to be upset.
Yeah.
And it really hit. It's like, gosh, I can't blame others anymore. It's my fault for feeling this way. Yeah. But I think it just helped in terms of a mature sense of even persevering in as an entrepreneur. When I stopped blaming others or other things, but like myself, right? So that's when I can really, I think as an entrepreneur, it's very important because there will always be problems because I'm managing the business is so important to me, and it's up to me to keep it alive, and the money and payments is all due to how much work I put in. If I don't put in, no money come in, right? And if I'm unable to accept that a lot of decisions or problems will be, I have the power to change, I think I would have stopped this business a while ago.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, yeah.
But I think that's the thing as well on your consistency point. Like, yes, you had to post consistently on social media, but you also had to show up consistently for you to the business and figure out how to do that in a way that's sustainable for you. Yeah. So I think this is like my mindset. I think mindset for entrepreneurship is so critical. And, if I'm speaking at a lot of events and people are like, oh yeah, like what is like some advice, whatever you would give? I always say, like, if you're starting a business, invest in your personal development, invest in your mindset. Like, I wish someone had told me when I was starting my business, the most important thing that you can do for the success of your business is sort out your mind. That was what I would go back and tell myself. What would you go back and tell yourself before you started your business?
Well, that's a good question. Now, what would I tell myself? Because I don't know, I'm so caught up in I'm glad I experienced whatever I experienced. Like, it kind of like let me I guess before I started the content creation journey, I knew I was going to be online. And then that's when I told myself, I actually took a 1 month break off social media before I started doing like proper content creation. I said, okay, I need to meditate on this. I need to stay off social media and then think about life. It's because once I'm in the ecosystem, my videos, my face is there forever. There goes my privacy. And so I had to accept it. Like there's no turning back. Once I post something, everyone will have my face forever, right? My videos or whatever. So and in part of meditation, I also accepted that hey, I must be comfortable with myself first. I must be secure with who I am. If not, the comments will eat me up. Because there's going to be negative comments, definitely.
It can be brutal out there.
It's normal, right? It's easy to type online, type on the keyboard, right? And so I was just preparing myself. I'll say, do I accept who I am? And know who I am so that whoever people want to insult me for who I am, who I choose to be, it will not affect me because I chose it, right?
Very mature.
Yeah, and so I did it, right? And I'm glad I did, because today a lot of people ask me the question, hey Ben, how do you deal with haters or negative comments? And my answer is always, I don't. Because the comment will come in and I'm like, cool. Yeah, because I realize a lot of my peers in my industry, they're always like, when a comment comes in, they automatically know, what's my what's my reply? What's my next, I need to spar the guy, right? But I'm like, I know a lot of them are trying to, I need to defend my dignity. But you're like, why? You don't know this guy. You don't know this guy.
Yep.
Like, and a lot of them are hiding behind fake pictures or whatever because they're too scared. They're so scared to show themselves because they want to attack, but they don't want to receive, right? So, so to answer your question, actually, there's actually nothing I will go back and change. I'm glad
I actually
did
love that.
Yeah,
and I feel
I'm
like you
glad.
had a very mature approach to it.
Yeah.
And that would have made you way more resilient. So when you talk about this meditation, did you do like a deep Vipassana or something? Or this is just you?
Oh, no.
Like stepping back and meditating on your own?
I know it was in Bali and all that.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I did it once and I was like, never again. But
no, actually, it was more of like spending time alone.
Yeah.
In quiet. And I actually purposely did it in my room because it's like my safe space.
Yeah.
And just like looking around at my, it was like a breath work, like thinking of, actually like hearing my own breath, hearing my own heart, and then also looking at my room and my things, like my pictures and everything that represent me. This is who I am, and this is who I'm going to show the world because I'm like coming out and being very like, okay, everyone gets to see almost part of me, like most of me online at least, right? My character, by the way I speak, everything, and the skits and sketches that I write online. So yeah, it was just about being ready to show that and accept that I'm open to that and no regrets. Yeah. And also more of like there goes the privacy.
And how has it been for your relationships, being a content creator, having a profile? Did that change for you? Did you lose friends? Did you get frustrated with family? Any like tough things you had to go through there?
I think the standard when I first started, the negative voices are always louder, right? So there was all sorts of positive friends and family like, oh yes, I'm very, you can do this. And then, but there's always I'll give him a year. I'll give him 2 years. Oh, it's a phase in his life. Or like, you think it's so easy to start a business, why not you just work in a simple job and just live life simply? But yeah, so those voices, I turn it into like inspiration. I said, all right, great. You think that way? Let me just go and do the best I can and see how far I can go.
Yeah.
And I went far. And in terms of relationships, I would say the more successful I got, for the first time in my life, I noticed people and ulterior motives because of who I am or why I'm doing my business. Yeah, it was sad. But I guess that's just the corporate world, right, and the truth about life, right? So I think it made me actually now more wary of people that I don't know very well, especially when it comes to business or personal things, because are they trying to get something out in an unethical way or like just trying to use me and everything? So yeah, now I'm sometimes maybe I do miss the old days where I see everyone and just like, hey, just like nothing. There's no business talk or no nothing. It's just, who am I? Who are you? But now there's a lot of like, okay, depending on where I meet somebody, right? Yeah. But this is a small sacrifice, I guess, for being an entrepreneur, right? Because I can imagine you've had, it may not be super similar, but I guess when you're an entrepreneur, there's a lot of different people you meet who, yeah. So, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's changed a lot of my relationships. In fact, I think a lot of people are encouraged because I took the leap of faith to start my own business and do what I love. And a lot of my close friends and family members, they're very inspired. And so in that powers me also, right? Like, okay, I did show that it's possible and they're proud of me. And I'm like, oh, it's empowering also,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a little bit of a similar journey. When I first quit fashion and started going into sustainability, my dad was the one that was like, why are you leaving your job in fashion? You always wanted to work in fashion. That was a secure job. And now what is this green stuff you're doing? Like, how are you going to make money doing this? And blah, 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 blah. And like for years it was like this. And then he started coming to my events and then he got to the point where he'd walk around being like, oh, that's my daughter. I'm Steph's dad, blah, 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 blah. And like, just like so cute. And like, I mean, yeah, it's been very funny. And now he, it tries to be a little bit more sustainable, more green. And he's still now, at least when he has a plastic water bottle, he's like, I'm really sorry, but I was really thirsty and I had to get it. Like before he'd walk into my festival with a plastic water bottle. And I'm like, what are you doing? That is not allowed here. So like stuff like this, but it's just very funny with him. But also with friends, I mean, in the very beginning, I lost a lot of friends actually in my journey because they didn't understand what I was doing. They didn't care for the sustainability thing. I think most people who dive into sustainability as hard, like because sometimes you go really deep, you kind of go through this cycle where you sort of have this crisis of identity where you realize everything is bad. Then you kind of go through this thing where you're trying to tell everyone else that everything is bad. And then your friends are like, hey, I don't care. I like my fast fashion. I don't want to know what happens in the I don't want to. You're like, but what do you mean? We want to be blindsided and blinded in this world, blah, blah, blah. So like there was that. And then you feel really like emotional about it. And then you kind of like get over it. And you realize that actually it's not, in the worlds that we live in, a lot of the time you can't be fully sustainable. It's actually just not really possible, especially in a city like Singapore. And then you relax and then you pick your battles and then you figure life out. And then, anyway, but I do feel like I've seen this cycle a lot in sustainability and I find it really interesting. But yes, in the beginning, I think the friends that I had around me just weren't really that interested in what I was doing, weren't really very supportive. So I found new friends and made new friends who were also entrepreneurs, who really understood. And of course I have my longevity friends, but yeah, I think that was a really interesting and uncomfortable phase to go through, to be like, oh, wow, like no one here wants me to succeed in what I'm doing. And no one cares and they don't want to support me and they don't understand also what I'm going through. So I can't really expect them to like want to know what I'm talking about because they're all in corporate jobs or in media or whatever. And they just wasn't in the same world. So then I got very lucky that I made friends that were actually like entrepreneurs or also in sustainability. And then there's that kindred interest and souls and then life becomes easier, a little bit more manageable again. But yeah.
Well, but I get that. I guess, I mean, there's so many different other like industries or like topics, right? Like veganism or for example, right? Like people come in, no, you can't eat that, the animals went through, and then it becomes dramatic and but I was just to know, so when you say when you got over it, like how did you suddenly just understand that so you shared, right? It's just you realize that, okay, we can't really be 100% sustainable, at least now. Yeah. Right? There's still a lot of work to be done, right?
Yes.
And
there's amazing humans around the world working on solutions. Yes. But I think, I just wanted to focus again on the more positive side of things and to just cut myself a break. I think like learning to cut yourself a break is like a really big thing to do. Not in a way of like, okay, I'm just going to slack off, but in a way it's like, you know what? I do what I can with what I have. And I'm not going to like kill myself over this stuff because it's just not fun and necessary. So I think, yeah, it was really just like relaxing into it more. But I think it's like in general in life, I just relaxed a lot more. And I think it's always interconnected, you know? So yeah, now I think it's just, yeah, pick your battles and just do the things that work for you and always try to do a little bit more on wherever you can. And yeah, I think then it makes it more of an enjoyable journey and less intense. So yeah. So what about you though? Like what are you excited about in this next year with the work you're doing or projects coming up or personal development growth? I don't know. What's hot on your plate right now?
Well, it's been a very exciting year for me, 2025. As a business owner, I guess, just doing very well. So many leads and confirmed gigs and everything, right? And I'm really looking forward to slowing down next year actually, because I think I really went a lot forward fast this year, and I sacrificed certain things in life like playing less sports and everything, which I miss, and I want to go back into that, like, you know, maybe more time for myself next year. Yeah, knowing that I have a little bit more savings, so hopefully
always good.
So hopefully, like, you know, I maybe 30% less gigs next year, but like 30% more time to myself. I think that's my aim. Yeah.
And do you know what you want to do with that time?
Oh yeah, just play more sports. Get back to my football and like maybe pick up paddle and pickleball.
Paddle is amazing. I love paddle.
Yeah,
It's
just to get into the trend and actually do more of my own content, because when I started, the whole thing was making my own content and entertaining people, and then this becomes my portfolio, and clients come in and say, hey, can you do videos for us, blah. So because I'm so busy, I've done less of my own content, and I want to go back there. It's more coming back to me.
Yeah.
It's like, now, okay, great, I've given a lot of time for clients and other people to make money, but now come back to me and like, okay, you can still make money and also have time to yourself. Yeah.
Do
so
the
that's my
projects that
plan.
you're excited about.
Yes. And I mean, you're saying, so you have something else that you're like, I mean, when you exited the company, you're doing what's coming up next year? Like, yeah.
Well, I'm speaking and hosting a lot more, which I absolutely love. So much fun. So I just recently developed a keynote called The Inner Climate, all about your impact strategies missing piece. And I am really enjoying that content and being able to deliver that to people. So I hope to do a lot more of that. And yeah, hopefully we're going to be expanding our family. Let's see. That's on the personal development side. And I think I just want to keep doing the work that I've been doing. I think I've been working with a really amazing coach this year, and it's really, really shifted me gears. And I feel like it's such a gift to give yourself the time to do the inward reflection, even if it's just a little bit every day or a little bit every week, to really evolve and just become a better version of you. And I think, yeah, the more that I invest that little bit of time, because it's not an overwhelming amount of time, but a little bit of time, the more I'm drastically seeing how my life is evolving and changing. And I think it's exciting and also kind of addictive in a good way. That's why I was like, okay, but what about the personal development side? Like, do you have goals or like things you want to do that's going to like help expand your mind, or like books you want to read, or, you know, how are you going to feed your soul outside of, yes, creating content for you? Sure, but like,
I'm going to feed my soul. I actually want to go back to reading more. Self-help, inspiring stories from, you know, other entrepreneurs or other people. Yeah, to see a different point of view. Yeah, because I feel that every year I can change, or every year I can learn something new and actually apply it to my life. Although I have like decided what I want to be and who I am, but I always feel that I think some perspectives can change.
Yeah, or evolve.
Yeah,
it's
evolve,
like, an evolution. And I think that's what keeps life interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes us human, right? That we can change.
So yeah, I think when we're doing the inner work as well, you do kind of illuminate more of your shadows, because even though it sounds like you've done a lot of work over the years, there's always that light and dark play. And I think, you know, it's like sometimes you still have to go through a lot of the darkness and the heaviness to even get to more light. So yeah, maybe you can share a little bit about if there's some curiosities there for you, or what are the things that like really give you joy and the things that you think might be holding you back still.
holding me back from like doing things. Like,
I don't know. It's just sometimes I feel like there are certain things in our lives that we maybe get triggered still, or maybe you get reactive on certain things, or there is relationships in your life that are mirroring something within you that you haven't really dealt with yet, or you're kind of putting it on the side.
Yeah, I guess as well, I would say funny enough, I used to be a more agitated person growing up. Yeah, I think just because my parents were quite agitated sometimes, they react very fast to to anything that pisses them off. So I kind of grew up like that, like I kind of mirrored them. And growing up, I realized how much it really affected my relationships with people. Growing up with friends, especially in my teenage years and whatnot. And I'm way better now. Like I don't react as much immediately as I was at a younger age. I'm more chill, as the term goes, a little bit more chill. But I do find that coming out sometimes, right? Or if I'm having a bad day and something triggers me, I just lash maybe, or just get upset or angry, and I come back like, that doesn't make me feel comfortable at all. Like when I was younger, it felt like second nature, I was just and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm just like this, I'm an angry man. But now I'm like, no, I don't really want to be this bad energy as we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Now that I've embraced and understood energy. Yeah, so but like I said, like it only comes when I'm having a bad day. Like it's really a bad time, and then that's when I feel maybe I have less control. Right, yes. So it's all coming back to like, hey, control. And reflection and just inward.
I don't know if the control though. You don't want to like control everything all the time, because then that comes from like a very energy. Since we're talking so much about energy, I think it's more about just as you've got the maturity and the awareness to be like, oh, I'm not loving this right now.
Right.
And I think it's more reflective, as you said, like, okay, how can I do this differently? Or like giving yourself that break to understand, okay, I haven't slept well. I'm hungry, and just like feeding into the physiological things that are happening first as like, okay, this is maybe why I'm feeling a little bit more triggered or frustrated right now. And then giving yourself that break to be like, okay, and grace. I think just like it really helps when you're not like controlling and be like, I don't want to be like this, so let's just push it down, because then it's like going back to there. But it's more like, okay, let's allow some grace and space for this. Today's just going to be that day, and then tomorrow's a new day, and we can like reset. And I think there's that nice part of reflection to see like what are the things that have led to that, and also sometimes it could just be what's happening in the stars. So yeah, I think when we're looking at trying to control a situation, it's because we feel out of control normally. And it's like the instant thing to be like, okay, let me try and control this situation. And I feel like I was like that for a very long time, trying to really control everything, but that just triggered so much anxiety, and you can't control all these things that are out of your control. And so I think for me, it's like reflecting and understanding that, okay, I can't control these things right now. What I can control is how I react. What I can control is the thoughts I'm having or the words that I'm having. And sometimes that's even too much, because if you're too triggered or you're angry or for me, it's like hungry and tired is my thing. Like if I haven't slept for 3 nights in a row, because, I have a 2-year-old, and sometimes we don't sleep for 3 nights in a row. And then I feel myself really like on the edge. I know that I'm like, my reactions are sharp and it's difficult but then it's like, now I just try to allow myself that grace. So I think that's why when you said the word control, I was like, oh, I feel like it's not a good thing to try and control a situation. But what do you feel like?
Like, I guess as a business owner, right, we want to be in control, right? Because it's our baby and we are the leader, and we are looked up to. And when things go out of hand, like you say, when things are out of hand, it's because we're losing control and we want to control it back, right? As opposed to trusting sometimes. And I guess it's fine to have control for me to a certain level, but also the wisdom of knowing like when I have to let go, I guess, or when I'm to control my emotions or the way I react, as opposed to controlling just the situation. And it takes a lot of it's easier said than done, right? I guess I don't think we've come to this point in our lives that I think we both shared, right? We've gone through a lot of to discover also ourselves as entrepreneurs, to also come to like the maturity of realizing, okay, it's not I can control what I can, but there's some things I cannot control, and then control how I react.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, yeah, I mean, no, I guess in the early days, right, of starting my business, rejection from like potential gigs doesn't really go well all the time, right? It's like, oh, it's a potential gig for my portfolio and potential money and all. So I get upset. Yeah, there's a lot of like, hey, and there's one no good reason, you know, like I was getting angry about, oh, why didn't they choose me, or why didn't they go ahead with this? And I think about like maybe 4 years after I started my business, right? It's been 7 years, but maybe 4 years in, then now it's like, no, you know, you have only those who want you, those who don't want you, right? And I can control my reaction. Like instead of getting super upset, it's like, nope, okay, the next one will be better. Or like, you know, it's never going to be 100% choice. It's never going to be, when someone contacts me, it's never going to be like, okay, we're definitely going to work with you then, right? Yeah. So, yeah, there's one experience I'll say in terms of like where I have to apply control of the way I react instead of getting unnecessarily upset. And in the end, maybe just channeling it to more encouragement, right? So now, okay, no, right, on to the next one. yeah. Especially since I'm in a very gig economy, right? The gig heavy reliant economy. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that helps to like build your resilience as well. To be like, okay, not meant to be. That's all right. Move on to the next one.
Yeah,
I think things ebb and flow, and the right projects that come around. And it's hard in the beginning. It really is, when you're like, need money and you're trying to make something work and you're pouring your heart into it. And then it's, you know, you're like, oh my gosh. So I do like totally understand. Like I've been there as well. And then I think, yeah, as things move on, you just go like, I don't know. I feel like as I've grown up and like matured, and now I just feel like, yeah, okay, if it's meant to happen, it will. And if it's not, it won't. And there's also just, a level of acceptance there. You know, I do the best I can. I go after the things that I think make sense and put it on the table. And if they want it, they have it. And if not, then that's okay. It's obviously just not aligned right now. So, but I think it takes some strength to get there. It's not, you know, in the beginning, it's harder.
Yeah. So if there's any advice I'll give anyone, don't start a business. Yeah. You lead a peaceful life.
Well, yes, you can. But then if you do start a business and really invest in your personal development and mindset.
And go through everything and control emotion, you'll be fine.
Well, thank you so much, Ben. I really enjoyed getting to know you and this conversation. I think it was, enlightening and just beautiful to hear more about your journey.
Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing. I always love to speak to other entrepreneurs because, you know, I think we kind of understand some of our struggles and challenges. And it's always nice and reassuring that, you know, there's someone else out there understands, you know, and powers me on.
Yes, absolutely. We are not alone. And of course, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Clean Your Toilet podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And for me, I'm just really taking away the underlining that it is important to do the inner work, to question who you are, be comfortable with that, accept it. And really, if you're going to be going into the content game, make sure you are comfortable and confident in yourself so that you don't get dragged down by the haters, because I think that was brilliant.